Welcome to Car Therapy, a podcast striving to connect people with genuine discussion and gain perspective about people's trauma. For the sake of privacy, every name on this podcast is a pseudonym.
I'd have people who would fuck me, but nobody would love me. I was good enough to fuck. I wasn't good enough to love.
And so, when did you start to gain weight?
I didn't start to gain weight until my junior year of high school because I also was a late bloomer. So I didn't get my period until that summer.
Wow.
Of my sophomore year.
Okay.
So I was rail thin all the way up until then. Then suddenly it was boobs and weight. 5'10", I only weighed 175 pounds, which is literally 2 pounds into overweight. It is after high school that starts creeping, but it doesn't start creeping until I try to go into the military without a disordered eating pattern, and I gained up to 210. Okay. So I binged, got my weight down for the military. Go back. Great, you pass. Fabulous. Okay, be back here on this day and you're gonna leave. Oh, I'm sorry, you're disqualified. Then I go back to eating normal. So I was not able to utilize what I was trying to do with the military was I thought that if I was put someplace where I had to exercise all day every day, that I'd become supermodel thin. So I didn't get to go there. And so now I'm back to eating, but I'm back to eating exactly the way I was when I was 175. I'm eating the same exact foods, I'm eating the same exact sandwiches, same exact proportions, and I gained to 210 instead of just gaining to 175 and stopping. Yeah. I gained to 210. And then I join the California Conservation Corps, and I go all the way down to Los Angeles. And this is, I exercise all day, every day. And I also am restricting everything that I'm eating from the meals that they give us, even though half of what they give us is junk food. So I'm still eating junk food, but I'll take just a handful of tater tots. My lunch for the day would be 2 lettuce sandwiches. And then I wouldn't go to dinner.
And you're doing manual labor still?
And I'm doing manual labor all day, every day. I got down, I don't even know how low I got. I think I got down to 150 maybe. Maybe a little lower. I was fitting into real tiny things. Then, so when I left the CCC and I came home, that's when it was just, I don't even, years of binging started, eating copious amounts and then no amounts. And every time the weight would go down and then come up even more. Go down, come up even more. Go down, come up even more. Until and all the while that this is happening, I start getting yelled at by people in the street. Fatty! Fuck you, fatty! Fucking fat bitch! And all of the joyous, wonderful things that happen to people of size at that point, I'm hearing everywhere and seeing everywhere. And of course, now we're in the age of the internet and I'm fully locked into the internet because, nerdling that I am, I can't leave any of them alone. And what do I see on every single forum? Fat girls are gross. Fat people are gross. This is, people of Walmart, which was basically a shit ton of fat people. It was oh my God, another fat person existing in the universe. Wow. Let's make fun of them. And I spiraled up to 350 pounds. I absolutely did not eat out in front of people. I didn't eat in front of anybody. There was no going out. I went out at night. I went shopping at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to try and avoid people. I still remember one time I was forced to get gas on a Saturday night during prime time. And guess what fucking happened? Everything that I said would happen. I got yelled at a fucking gas pump.
Something that I thought was wild was when you said people of Walmart. I remember the Facebook page of people of Walmart. And when you said it was just fat people really just existing, I was like, yeah, it was. It was just fat people in Walmart pushing around their cart, right?
And making fun of the contents of what was in their baskets, and talking about those things. You know, oh my God, they got a pizza. Oh no, they got a pizza. The world is over. Yeah.
Well, I think something else that, because before we started having these conversations, I started paying attention to fat people more after we started having these conversations, right?
Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah, because I was just like, oh, the lady that checked me out today, she was really heavy. I wonder what her experience was like, right? Because as a skinny person, no one can just look at me and critique, oh, she has poor discipline, she has shitty diet habits, right? Like, she's like, you know, we make it almost this point where you're a terrible person because you can't take care of yourself.
Yep.
Right? But I have terrible fucking eating habits, but I'm genetically thin, right? And so, you know, no one can look at me and critique me.
Fat people, it is all about their choices in life must have brought them to this point. Try not to get on that tirade just yet, but it is all about they're a bad person. They are just shoving mounds and mounds of cheeseburgers into themselves. It is all about personal restraint, and the only bodies that are good bodies are thin bodies. And don't you want to be healthy? Mm-hmm. Because that's truly what they care about.
Yeah.
Is about people being healthy. And you see on the forums how they're you know, when somebody talks about how about not being a dick to them. No, they just don't know that they're fat. They haven't fucking realized it from us telling them every single fucking day at every fucking turn just how fat and disgusting they are. No, I could have never figured it out from the 87 times you told me today.
Can you rant on the diet culture thing? Because I think that was like so enlightening for me, because, you know, you're talking about how people start dieting and then it raises your set points and raises your set points.
So, okay. All right. So we're gonna go there. We're gonna pause on my own thing, but this is how I got here.
I think it does tie into your
It does.
thing, right?
This is how I got here. This is how I got to the weight that I was and how I got to the weight that I am. So you have mechanisms, and so there's a neurologist that I can give you the link to her TED Talk where she really explains how this goes on. Your brain controls your body behind the scenes. And this is the same thing when it comes to weight. Your weight has an internal set point, and that set point is based off of your body's observations of the food environment that you live off. And I don't mean that you have access to cheeseburgers. It does not know that there is a Carl's Jr. down the street. It can only rely on how you are feeding it. So the feast and famine comes from what you are doing with your body. When your body decides that there is a famine, it will raise your set point to compensate for the lack of food that you are putting in your body, because it thinks that there is a famine, that food might not come again.
Yeah, so it's preparing for the next famine. So you experience famine, you come out of it, and then it raises the set point, so you gain weight, preparing for the next famine.
Your body, your brain does not know you are on a diet. All your body knows is, I'm not getting calories. That's all it knows. It doesn't know anything beyond that. No matter what you think, it does not know these things. So when you go on the diet, it raises your set point. But other things start happening in your body when that goes on. You'll stop pooping, right? That's something that will happen, so that your body will consume more calories from what you are feeding it. even if you are restricting yourself and actually restricting yourself to say 1,000 calories a day, there are many people who have told you this story and you didn't believe them. Y'all just sat there and went, no, you're just eating cheeseburgers, calling all them motherfuckers liars rather than realize the reality of the situation. They were eating only 1,000 calories and they started gaining weight because it's not about fucking Seco. That's not the way the shit works.
You have to explain Seco too.
Oh, sorry. Seco, calories in, calories out. It is not, you are not just a simple machine of a fucking candle flame. There is more complex mechanisms going on in your body than just calories in, calories out. And your body will adjust those mechanisms to try and compensate for what you were doing to it. So you'll find that 97% of dieters in all diets ever in the history of diets, go look it up, check me, I'm not fucking wrong. You will find 97% of dieters fucking fail. But it's not because they all went out and started eating fucking cheeseburgers and pizza. It's because their bodies compensated for the feast, for the famine that they were putting themselves through, and they raised their set point. Now this person goes back to, say, eating 1,200 calories a day, and they're putting a bit more fiber in their diet, but they're still restricting. Now suddenly this woman, maybe she was 135 pounds and when she started restricting. Now suddenly she's a woman that weighs 160 pounds and she wasn't gorging. There are a ton of people out there who have told you, but I'm not eating like that. But you didn't believe them. Y'all just fucking told them they were really actually eating their fucking cheeseburgers, but it wasn't. It's this mechanism that has been going on behind the scenes. Dieting is causing that. Not only, sidebar, just to let you know, a side effect of insulin resistance, aka diabetes, the thing you claim causes diabetes, is not fat. The side effect from insulin resistance is weight gain. So people are gaining weight because they're diabetic. They did not become diabetic because they gained weight. It has actually been the other way around this entire time, and y'all have fucking just abused them instead and made them feel like shit, when really the entire time it's because they were sick and the doctors never fucking listened to them because, oh my God, you know, what's some of the two things that are on there? Unexplained weight gain and unexplained weight loss. Well, in a fat person, if there's weight loss, congratulations. In a fat person, if it's weight gain, it's fucking cheeseburgers. It couldn't possibly be because they were sick.
I think this just speaks to quick cramming diet culture down people's throat too, right? Like this yo-yoing of people's weight. I think it really does fuck with your metabolism. It fucks with what your body's trying to do, right?
That was the other one. So Metabolism, they did a huge study. There was actually a huge study on every single participant in Biggest Loser. Mm. And they found that so they would take and they would put them in these chambers where all they did is they laid there and it measured their oxygen and measured, you know, everything that the body was releasing. And they actually did basal metabolic rate study on those people. Their metabolisms were at 800 calories resting. So their entire body doing nothing but laying still would only burn 800 calories. That means that whole theory of Seco, calories in, calories out, those people now have to live on 650 calories for the rest of their lives if they want to lose weight. And if they eat any more than 800 calories in a day, they will gain weight. It was impossible for them to not gain weight.
Did they measure the same for a skinny person?
They measured the same against regular people who were sitting there, someone like your size, and they'd find metabolism of 2,200 for a basal metabolic rate.
That makes so much sense to me because I know I eat a lot of calories. I'm probably like, 2,000 something a day, and I don't exercise that much, and so I could totally see how a normal person's metabolism is 20 something or 2,000 something, right?
And it's because of the famine that their body has gone through, so it tanked their metabolism to force them to gain weight to get back to the body's internal set point, to put them back there. But instead everybody's like, oh, just look at them, they failed.
Yeah. You're just fat because you suck at taking care of yourself.
You just suck at taking care of yourself.
I think it's interesting how society acts like fat people are such a burden too, just because we have to look at them. Like,
that's
you disgust
really
me, so you need to lose weight.
That's what it all comes down to. None of it is about health. Absolutely none of it is. Sorry,
if you
that's my yeah. None of it is about health. All the concern trolling, but what about your health? It's not about health. What you all care about is pretty. Because I notice that you don't seem to go very hard towards men. But I do notice how hard you go down on women. It's only when men reach certain extremes that anybody even says anything about their bodies. Mm-hmm. That the public at large targets them, takes pictures of them. When you look at the news and you look at all the pictures of fat bodies with their heads chopped off because, fat people aren't human. You've got to dehumanize them by taking pictures from the neck down. So just bodies. The obesity epidemic. What do you see? Women. In all of the pictures. Women. Maybe one dude. But he's real big.
Can you tell me how your weight still affects your mental health now?
Right this very moment or 2 months ago?
2 months ago.
2 months ago? So, something that we didn't mention is I had bariatric surgery.
Yeah.
And I went from 350 pounds. And during that time, I got very sick. Mm-hmm. I had gastritis and 2 duodenal ulcers. But I didn't know because I thought it was the side effects of the surgery that was making me puke up everything. Mm-hmm. And I got down to about 160 pounds. Mm-hmm. And then I went into the ER.
Oh, so you hit 160 and you're like, oh, yay, it's working.
It's working. But then blood came out from where it shouldn't have come, and I ended up in the ER.
And so when you hit 160, were you relieved? Were you happy?
I was very happy. I wasn't happy with how my face looked, but I was really happy with a lot of how my body looked. Oh. I liked so I wasn't really pleased with a lot of things that I could see at 160 because my face was very sallow and I started to look very skeletal and the jowls were hanging down. This skin became really loose. But I started to plump up a little bit and I was like 170 was like perfect. My face finally lifted back up. It was perfect. I was like, and then I told myself, nope, you're going to stay here. You're going to stay right here. And I'm just going to keep eating like a bird. And then I was 185, eating like a bird. And then I was 190. And I'm now 230. Well, actually, no. Here I am, my tummy's finally healing, and now I start trying to stick my fingers down my throat to eat even less, because clearly what I have now associated is that the only way for me to lose weight is to not eat, but I can't make myself not eat. So what if I just eat and then eject it? Mm-hmm. Then I can stay skinny, because even though I am barely eating, I am gaining weight. Mm-hmm. And I haven't put together the whole set point and everything, because everything in the universe tells you, everyone, everywhere, online, and all the nutritionists and all the dietitians are, well, it's just because you need to eat less. Mm-hmm. You need to eat less. And you need to eat less.
You need to eat salads. Not that hamburger, not that pizza. You need to eat salad.
Not that salad, but remember, put the dressing on the side, because dressing contains calories. Mm-hmm. And then I got to 230. Mm-hmm. Which is where I am right now. But I started getting into and actually listening to the people that were talking about set point, the people that were talking about intuitive eating, the people that were talking about health at every size. Mm-hmm. Health at every size. Mm-hmm. There's a lot there, because I know everybody who might be listening to this who has anti-fat, has fat hatred in them. Oh, health at every size. You're saying that 400-pound woman is healthy. You're encouraging people to be unhealthy. First of all, dumbass motherfucker, health at every size does not mean don't eat healthy food. Health at every size means to focus on your health at whatever size you are. It means eat chicken. It means eat, the good foods that are good for you, that are nourishing for you. It means getting a healthy metabolic panel. It means being able to go out and exercise. It doesn't mean that you will lose weight from doing those items. I roller skate all the time. Still fat. You're welcome.
Yeah, and so shifting the mindset away from losing weight constantly and focusing more on your health, like
More on your
actually
health.
eating healthy, focusing on your blood panel, stuff like that.
I was taking a lot of laxatives, and I had started taking a shit ton of aspirin and naproxen sodium because that was how I got gastritis, and the duodenal ulcers was from NSAIDs. NSAIDs
So
cause it.
you were trying to get the ulcers back.
I was trying to get the ulcers back so that I would vomit because I couldn't make myself vomit with my fingers. So I was specifically taking copious amounts of aspirin and naproxen sodium to try and make it come back so that I wouldn't vomit again. And I was also severely restricting myself. Breakfast would be limited to, I was basically limiting myself to probably about 600, 700 calories a day. In reality, that's how much I was eating. As much as I could humanly stand. I stopped pooping, and which was even more fuel to the fire to take more laxatives, because now my body's holding on to it and I need to make it go. It needs to go to get out those calories that I'm eating, or else how am I going to be good?
Even though you're only eating like 600 calories.
Even though I'm only eating 600 calories,
Just to
because
begin
the
with, yeah.
scale was also belying everything that I was doing. When I started that whole thing, I was at 128, and before I finished that whole cycle, I was at 138. I gained 10 pounds by eating 600 calories a day and being on laxatives. How can I fucking fix this? I don't understand. Everybody's telling me what I need to do to be good, and I am doing it, and it is not working, and none of you fucking believe me that it is not working. Instead, you're just telling me you must be eating cheeseburgers. I have the fucking proof on my bank account. I'm not eating cheeseburgers. I'm not eating anything. I'm putting everything into my fitness pal. Every single fucking calorie I am tracking.
So you're obsessively counting calories, you're taking laxatives, you're like abusing
And I'm
everything.
gaining weight.
You're literally trying to make yourself sick by getting ulcers to lose weight.
And I'm gaining weight. And then I woke up one morning and I had the start of this poem in my head. And it was obsessively running around. And during this time, I'm also starting, even though I don't believe them, I'm starting to listen to these podcasts and things that are talking about haze and intuitive eating. And I'm just in this rage battle between them saying, no, it's actually okay, and me saying, but everybody else says it's not. Which one is real? I want to feel good, but everybody's telling me that's not real, and I shouldn't go there because then I might be encouraging somebody else to be fat, and how dare I, and all of those things. And I woke up this one morning and I just put down all of the rules I felt that I needed to live by to be a good fatty. And
that's incredible though, that you're going through this mental struggle. Like, you've experienced that you're restricting your calories to only 600 a day, but you still don't believe it's true. You're like, this can't be right? There's something wrong still. This isn't right. I'm not good enough. I'm not doing the right thing.
And I start writing down all of the rules that society has passed down to how people must behave with their weight, and all of the rules surrounding that. And I realize that it is this vicious cycle that nobody is able to get out of, because every rule leads back to another rule and keeps you in this. I will read my poem called The Bad Fatty Club. I want to talk to you about a club that I'm a part of, one that you might be a part of and don't even know. It's a club so insidious that there is almost no way to escape. The people who are most ardent members will also do everything in their power to not let you escape. They are your gods. The Bad Fatty Club. Every member in society is represented within their vortex of hate. Doctors and lawyers, all the way down the money spectrum into McDonald's workers. Every nation and color of human is represented in their club, and this club has rules. Rules that have rules about never leaving or ever getting out. And here are just a few, 24 to be exact. Number 1, BMI is God. Number 2, calories in, calories out. Seco is the only way. It is all about the mighty calorie calorie. 3, our mantra is, yeah, but, or, don't you believe? Remember, we must remind them that they are wrong at all costs. 4, conflation is encouraged and correlation does equal causation. But thin people get diabetes, we yell, is to be followed with rule 3, yeah, but. Rule 5, all fatties are bad fatties. 6, fatties are rotten to the core of their cells. There is no redemption. 7, former fatties are just moments away from failure. I might forget to count here, but counting is only important when it's a calorie. 8, one cannot be good until their BMI is in the healthy range. See Rule 9. Rule 9, your BMI is not good enough unless it's in the middle. If you just get into the healthy category, you aren't good enough yet because you are so close to failing. 10, the definition of skinny, healthy, good, righteous, thin. See Rule 4, conflation is someone who is in the bottom middle of healthy, normal BMI chart. See Rule 1 and 8, BMI is God and healthy is in the middle. Number 11, all health problems are solved miraculously by being skinny tomorrow. 12, you are not allowed health care until you are within a normal range. You could have permanent damage or cancer, but unless you are normal range, you will not be tested or treated for it because remember Rule 11, just be skinny. 13, it does not matter if you get skinny because of cancer. You have no worth as a human until you do because remember, even if you have cancer, you are thin and that means you're healthy. 14, unexplained weight loss in a fatty is not to be investigated by a doctor because they're finally doing something right. 15, unexplained weight gain does not exist. It's always a cheeseburger. Besides, if it actually is cancer, we want them to lose weight, right? Even if they die before becoming acceptable enough. 16, being thin and thereby being good is only gained via punishment for their complete and utter failing and maintaining their body for us. If a fatty becomes scale provable thin but did not get there via pain and punishment, they did not earn it and thereby have earned no reprieve. 17, the only way to get a fatty healthy is via a calorie restriction and good foods, also known as orthorexia, and they must maintain this for life. 18, there are good foods and there are bad foods, but do not maintain a list. Lists will be used by fatties to find a way to make good foods taste good and become desirable. The goal is Rule 16. Don't allow them to find any peace away from the shame. This is why we tell them salads are good, but that dressing is bad. And if they somehow find a way to eat a salad without dressing and like it, then we must point out, yeah, but in moderation, not even qualifying what moderation is. 19, if a fatty does get thin, remind them Rule 3, yeah, but they didn't do it the right way. 20, the right way means moving the goalpost. Every other diet is the good diet. Bonus points if you can berate them while lauding yourself. Well, I lost 20 pounds, so I must be doing it right, implying that that the fat people are the wrong ones and you were the good one. 21, if a fatty does get thin, please take care to remind them at every opportunity that they used to be fat. Oh my God, you look so good. See, doesn't it feel better? Isn't it nice to be able to wear that? Carry their before and after pictures. Remind them of the previous shame because at any moment they will slip. 22, if fatties ever demand to be treated humanely, respond with hypocrisy. It is okay to like yourself, but you need to make sure you aren't encouraging others to be fat. Why can't they just shut up? 23, fatties are not allowed to die either by natural causes or suicide. They must never escape us. See Rule 24. Rule 24. If a fatty dies or wants to kill themselves, remind them and people of all the inconvenience that they have caused to the EMTs who had to carry their fat bodies, the beds that have strained under their fat weight, the morgue attendants who had to see their naked bodies. They might have vomited from sheer disgust. Won't anyone think of the poor morgue attendants? Coffins will not be accommodated. Chop them up, and they should not be allowed cremation lest they explode the crematorium. Their existence has been unfair to everyone. They will never escape us. Even a dead fatty is a bad fatty. You wanted to talk about doctors?
Yeah.
So you were asking me about the doctors, and you can actually find the studies that they have done in the medical industry of weight bias in doctors, and they find that fat people die at higher rates because they are actually not getting any care from their doctors, because their doctors, instead of turning around and diagnosing any problems or actually caring about their health, instead just keep relaying the mantra of lose weight. Women actually dead. There was a woman who went in because her tummy was swelling, and her doctor accused her of just eating cheeseburgers. Her tummy got bigger. Well, you're just eating more cheeseburgers. I told you to stop eating cheeseburgers, and put in her chart that the patient was non-compliant. What she actually had was a tumor the size of a grapefruit. She's now dead because the doctor couldn't give a shit beyond her weight. Unexplained weight gain. It's literally right there in their training. And yet, when it comes to a woman's body, it's not investigated. Men are not dying at the same... They are dying, but they're not dying at the same rates as women who gain weight. The amount of bias within the medical industry for fat bodies is absolutely hideous. So let's just look at diabetes. What is the thing that they constantly talk about with diabetes? Just lose weight, just lose weight, just lose weight. And as I told you earlier, is that the insulin resistance is what caused their weight in the first place. So until they get their insulin resistance under, and they still might not lose weight. So they're not treating the underlying cause. I was listening to, one of my other podcasts, and she was talking about, she went in for strep throat, and the doctor talked to her instead about losing weight, as if weight loss was going to cure strep throat. And she had to get into an argument with the doctor of like, I'm trying to get help here for strep throat. Why are you talking to me about weight? Well, I don't know what to do with you if you're not going to listen. And she said, what would you do if a skinny person came in with strep throat? Well, I'd do X, Y, and Z. Great. Why don't we fucking try that? Wouldn't you know? It fucking worked for the strep throat. You don't get diagnosis of arthritis because they just blame it on the weight. It is a whole vicious cycle of them not being treated, people not being treated properly, specifically because of weight, instead of actually focusing on their health. They're supposed to be doctors. And yet the only thing they focus on is, well, my patient.
Have you ever seen a therapist or like professional help?
Yes, I am in therapy right now. I'm in therapy for my ED. I'm in therapy for my gender dysphoria. I am something we didn't say earlier. I should have told y'all. Yeah, I'm non-binary. I had top surgery, so that's a double mastectomy. Just had full hysterectomy, which is the eggs, the fallopian tubes, the uterus, the cervix, taking all that away. So yeah, I am in therapy. I am getting therapized through my therapist, through cinema therapy on YouTube. Look them up, they're amazing. And on through podcasts, listening to all of the people talking about health at every size and everything. But really my major breakthrough was the first day I read that poem to someone. And like the next day I woke up and it was literally like a switch. I finally didn't care.
So that's how you got pulled out of that lost spiral.
Yeah, it literally was reading that poem aloud to another human being and having them actually hear me for the first time was what it took.
Human connection.
It was human connection. And suddenly it's like I'm looking at my face in the mirror, I'm looking at my body in the mirror, and yeah, I'm masking some things with my clothing choices. But I'm not looking at those sections anymore and going, God, you're the most disgusting fucking thing on the planet. I'm just going, yeah, it's aesthetically not pleasing. So I'll just wear something different that covers it up. I look at my face and instead of seeing all the droops and the lines and think that my whole self is a hideous troll beast, and everybody's just seeing fucking the hag witch from, what the fuck, that movie with Tom Cruise and Legend, the bog witch from Legend. And I'm not looking in the mirror and seeing that. Now I'm like, yeah, I got some wrinkles. That could use some filler. Sure. Otherwise, let's fucking fix it. I'm not obsessing over it and using it as my core of my self-worth. Instead, I'm just going, if I want to fix it, I can fix it. There's services for that shit. Awesome. But not like I have to fix it instead.
Do you still feel like the therapy and getting all this information about, you know, maybe a more corrective diet and stuff like that has helped you in some ways though?
Absolutely. I'm not binging anymore and sitting down to huge mounds of food. Well, I mean, I still am, but now I'm able to push the plate away, because also there's the clean plate club that I've been a part of since I was little. Now I can actually stop, and as I am eating, feel when I'm getting full, instead of eating at this breakneck speed and then suddenly being in pain and having way overstuffed as well. So now I'm like, I'm just eating, and I'm stopping when I'm full. I'm eating what I feel like eating. I had a slice of pizza today. It was good.
Well, I feel like for me especially, and I haven't even experienced this, but the information that you're getting, it sounds like it puts it so much in perspective of like, oh, this is actually what the fuck's going on in my body, right? There's something in your brain that doesn't give a fuck that you want to lose weight, right? Your body's going to take care of itself.
I'm eating food that's making me feel good. I'm enjoying my meals. I'm not sitting there going, well, I can't go to my friend's house because they're going to eat. And I need to figure out how to pretend to eat and not get caught pretending to eat and not eat.
So it seems like you're still insecure a little bit with your weight.
I am. It's still there. I'm not perfect, but I am leaps and bounds from when I thought I was the worst thing on the planet and had to cover mirrors.
How do you feel like it's affecting your dating relationships or personal relationships?
My friend relationships, I feel at sometimes they probably have suffered because I've lashed out and said things to people I love in what was my attempt at trying to get somebody to see where I was coming from, but instead I was just making them feel bad. Even though I was like in my twisted little mind, I was trying to make them realize that they were pretty, to stop saying those things when they're one of the privileged. Stop it, because it was about me. Because if you think you, who are beautiful, who gets hit on at the bars, who has dudes bringing you flowers and buying you drinks, if you think that you are not pretty and you need to lose weight, what the fuck must I be? So in my attempt to feel better about myself, I was trying to get other people to realize what they were. Because I felt if they could finally accept them, that I couldn't accept me until they could accept them.
Of course. Because
I felt like secretly they really were feeling that way about me if they felt that way about themselves. If they thought that they were, you know, a troll monster at 180 and I'm at 230, then clearly I am never going to be acceptable to them. You're just lying. You're just saying the words. You don't mean it, because you clearly find 180 to be unacceptable. So I am unacceptable by your own metric.
I think so much of the hatred and the toxicity that people have with weight and, you know, bullying and all that shit is that they're unhappy with themselves. They have this fucking miserable life that they hate. And I think society kind of sets us up for it, right? We were forced to hate ourselves. We're forced to hate ourselves by all of the bullying online, by what dudes say out there, by what the media projects, by all of the skincare commercials, by all of the dieting commercials. Everything that is out there is geared towards making you hate yourself so that you could buy their products. Of course. Because if you're ugly, you could spend money and we can fix that. You know? And I think the thing is too, is when you see someone beautiful, you don't realize how much surgery they've gotten or whatever, right?
And you don't even know where they are on their path. That person you're yelling at, hey fatty, lose weight, might have already just lost 60 pounds. They're doing it. They're doing exactly what you said, yet you still aren't leaving them alone. Gee, maybe it's not because you care about our health. It's because you care about our looks. It's not about that. It's the last bastion of
It makes
hate.
me wonder, though, when the children were bullying you, right? Like, who fed them that? Right? What are we feeding our kids that they are talking to other kids like that, and that's how we treat each other?
Because that's what they're hearing in their own family circles. They're hearing the dads talk to their moms. They're hearing their moms talk about their own bodies. They're seeing the way that their moms eat at the dinner table. They're seeing all those things. They're imbibing all of those things. Plus, you've got the media feeding them because they see those commercials, and little kids internalize that information as well.
What about dating?
Non-existent still. Right now, I don't care. I don't care. It's too difficult and people have too many fucking issues. There's too much wrapped into it, and I don't want to spend all of my energy trying to convince every single person to get on board with me, to get them where I am on health at every size. So it's like, I would entertain somebody who came up to me genuinely but I have no interest in like online dating or anything like that because it is so incredibly superficial. You haven't met me. You didn't hear me talk outside at the table and laughing with my friends and then get genuinely piqued your interest and come up and talk to me. I want it to, if it's going to happen, it needs to just be.
Yeah, I feel like it has to be a super organic situation because you are such a unique person, right? Like, you got the non-binary thing, you have the shaved head, all this. You have a look to you, And I think
I'm not everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah, exactly. And so on a superficial app where someone's looking for an atypical person, right? And that's why I brought up to you that before, like, maybe you're looking at the wrong places, But I wish there was almost an app where it's like if you're in a certain proximity and you're open to dating people, then, you could say right or left or something. Because then at least you would know, oh, we have a common interest because we're both at the hacking convention. Like, because if I go to a hacking convention, I'm not going there to hit on you,
I like karaoke. You're at karaoke. I'm going to go to karaoke right now.
Yeah, someone build the app. Thank you.
That would be really fucking cool.
Yeah, because...
And it's location dependent, so it's like, oh, other people who like karaoke are here. Oh.
Yeah, and okay, he is single. Okay, he's also a unique person, right? Because, I'm expecting there to be some characters that show up to Comic-Con. I'm expecting there to be some characters that show up to hacking conventions, stuff like that, You have to be really involved in those places to go there.
Absolutely.
Have you ever entertained, like, the typical American dream? Like, husband, kids?
No.
House? No.
Funny enough, I always thought that I would never be married and I would never have kids. I was right on one of those things. I was married.
You were?
I was married for like a year and a half.
I did not know.
Yeah. And then divorce. It was all bad. It was all me just, projecting and wanting when I didn't really want to be there because as soon as I got it, I didn't want it anymore. I was like, this is not what I want. But that's all a part of the whole process of learning because at the time I was still trying to be like everybody else and what they say, people want and things like that. And I'm supposed to... I'm supposed to, I'm required by society to have a husband. If I have a husband, then I've proven somebody wants me. So that must mean I have worth.
How old were you?
21, 22.
Yeah, I feel like you're still trying to find yourself then so much. And yeah, I think back, I was in the same situation. I was like 21 with a boyfriend and we talked about getting married and all that stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, that sounds nice. But I've changed so much since then. If me and him got married, we definitely would have gotten divorced, right? It's just like, I feel like you really don't know who you are until probably 30. I think that's like, I feel like I'm starting to get a grasp now and I'm pretty set in my ways now. And I think 30 is going to be it for me. But I don't know. When did you fully accept the non-binary thing and really come into your shell, you think?
2020.
2020?
Yeah.
So 2 years ago.
2 years ago. I've only been out for 2 years because it never all fell into place. And it was one of those things I was watching, funny enough, so I was watching ContraPoints. If you watch her on YouTube, and she was talking about, oh shit. What is it called? Well, she was talking about something like heteronormativity, but there was, COMPHET. Compulsory heteronormativity. So it's people that are doing because through compulsory means. So people who are acting a specific way because society tells them that they must act a specific way. So I was acting straight. I was dating the men. I was putting on the makeup. I was doing the hair. I was doing all of the things because society has told me that I can do that. I was literally like trying to perfect my makeup and things like that. But the more I would perfect my makeup, the more I would perfect my hair, the more I fucking hated myself because I didn't see me in the mirror. The more makeup I wore, the more perfect I made my skin through makeup and everything, the more I hated everything that I saw. Because it wasn't me. Just like shortly after that I saw the ContraPoints episode that talked about COMPHET, and then I read through the entire thing about COMPHET, and I was like, how did y'all get a hold of my fucking life? Like it was very much like everything was me on the page.
Shit.
And I shaved my head. And when I shaved my head, that 2020 was the first time in my entire life that I could look at my face in the mirror. It wasn't until that moment that I had ever like I just blocked out mirrors. If they weren't covered, I just blocked them out. They didn't exist. Only if I absolutely had to, and I did so on like the micro level, looking at something up super close so that I wouldn't have to see the hole. And that was the first time that I liked my face. That I was like, okay, this isn't the worst thing that could happen. It's still kind of gross. I don't like it, but it's not the worst thing that could happen. But I still really fucking hated lots of things. But that's when I realized maybe this non-binary is really making sense. It was just like a conflagration of things hitting all at once that just set me reeling. And then and what was funny is my whole life I had, since puberty, I had been talking about getting rid of my boobs, and I had been seeking reduction. But every time I talked to the doctor about reduction, they're like, yeah, we could bring you down to a double D. And I'm like, I don't want that. I want like A's. I want them gone.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that was called top surgery. And it was a friend of mine.
They could only bring you down to a double D.
They could only bring me down to a double D. I was huge. They had their own orbit. They had planets.
Shit.
Orbiting them. I had huge old tatas. Zip codes. And then a friend told me, you don't have to go for, by the way, your medical company covers transitioning. I was like, transitioning? They're like, yeah, top surgery. That's what you're asking for. And like my mind was blown. And I went ham after that. I'm like, talked to my doc, got set up. And I mean, within a couple of months, I was on the table getting them lopped off. That when I left the hospital after getting top surgery, having the zip codes removed because it was so obvious, it was immediate. Like I was like, oh my God, they're finally gone.
Cutting your boobs off, because I feel like this
It
is
was
like...
very close. It was very close. So I shaved my head in June of 2020. By November of 2020, I went in for top surgery.
And you feel more comfortable now?
Yes, God, I can look at myself in the mirror. I can look at clothes on myself and like clothes on myself. Like all of those things, one thing led to another, and has just led to more satisfaction and more happiness with my body. And then what's funny is that comes with its own weird struggle, because sometimes I look at other people and I go, I don't get how you can tolerate having them. I don't get how you can have that long hair and deal with the fucking sweat on the back of your neck. Yeah, bitch, you're in a ponytail all the time. See, I know you don't. Chop your hair off. You'll feel better. I still have those things, even though I know I'm not supposed to be judgy. Even though, the contradictions live inside. I know I'm not supposed to be judgy. I know I'm not supposed to tell somebody else how to live.
Well, I bet part of it for you is like, you don't understand the freedom. I have to show you the freedom. Just cut your hair off.
Yes, it's like, I've seen. I need to help so you could see.
Yeah, exactly. I've had that feeling before, and so I understand that. Okay, I wanna pivot. I wanna go back to that ex-husband for a second.
Okay.
Did your ex-husband ever buy you flowers?
No.
How was the dating process with him?
Sex. Everything was always sex.
Did he make you feel sexy?
Well, you also have to realize, remember how old I said I was when I came out of the CCC?
Oh.
How big was I?
Oh. Okay.
I was tiny.
And so did that reinforce the skinny is better?
Mm-hmm. But I hated myself. It's always been this thing.
When you were skinny, did you feel beautiful?
I felt like I was attractive to others. I called that kind of attention. I still never got treated in that manner. See, that's a whole nother thing, is that even through weight gain and everything else, I had people I could have sex with, and excluding my ex-husband, which was a fluke, I never dated. I'd have people who would fuck me, but nobody would love me. I was good enough to fuck. I wasn't good enough to love. And that's what they proved over and over again. Because they would always say, so yeah, I have some hatred of men. I'm sorry. Just as a genre. Hatred of men, because they'd always be, oh no, I'm different. I'll never be that way. And then they'd demand sex. And that was the only reason why they were there. They were never there for me. Guys talk about, we're stupid, you gotta lay it out for us. Okay, I would like you to lay on the couch with me, and I'd like you to hold me, and I'd like you to do that without demanding sex later, and I'd really like it if you didn't shove your dick in my butt crack while we lay there. I'd like this to be a non-sexy time of you just holding me and bringing me comfort. Could any of them ever fucking do that? Nope. Not a single time, even when I was explicit. So y'all, when you say, we're stupid, explain it for us. We are! You're not dumb, you just don't want to. I refuse to believe that they're dumb. I believe that they just have the patriarchy. Let's just cut that down. It's the fucking patriarchy.
I could go off about that too, because I had like my own beliefs, like, oh, if I just pick like the good guy, the right guy, right, he wouldn't treat me like that. It's just that I'm dating the wrong men. Right, and then it's like...
It's just that I'm dating the wrong man. Okay, well, maybe I'll date a bigger guy. Okay, maybe I'll date this. And what do you have to go on? So you're like, okay, maybe it's the hair. Maybe it's this type of car. Maybe it's this. Trying to change this and that and this and that, and trying to change the formula to find the guy that doesn't do all the things that you keep telling them, I don't want you to do this. And then they all do. Right? And then there's things outside of my experience that reinforce the whole thing that relationships are always about sex. That sex is the most important thing. Not you as a human. Your whole is the most important thing, because I had a friend who had vaginosis. Basically, she didn't have a vagina. She didn't have a uterus. She didn't have a cervix. She had like one rando ovary floating around in there, but she had nothing else. And there are surgeries for that. Guess when she finally started dating, when somebody actually found her okay enough to date, wasn't until she got a vagina. So go ahead, prove to me how sex isn't the most important thing. When my friend could not get a stable relationship until she could finally have sex.
And I can't even imagine what that would do to someone, right? Because it's like, oh, I could make you come in other ways or something, but that's like still not good enough.
Still not good enough. But she's luckily healthy enough and not so far into 50 million spirals that she didn't catch on to how I was perceiving things. But that's the lesson that I learned from that. Was not, how to hold out hope. My lesson is no, that's the only thing that matters. That's the only thing we're good for. And I don't want any part of that. I don't want it. So ergo, when I see that it is not possible until you accede to the demands, then I don't want to be a part of the scene either.
Yeah. And, like, I think sex is an important part in a relationship, but I don't think it always has. Like, there's, like, so many fine lines with a relationship and so many balances, and you really have to figure that out. And I think a lot of people don't fucking communicate with each other, and that's what causes, like, a lot of issues, right? But, I mean, all right.
And
Enough on this.
I know.
Because
We're gonna end up on 5 shows.
Yeah.
5 shows later.
Okay, I have one more question. What do you hope people get from listening to your story?
You don't need to diet. Number 1, your body's fucking fine. You aren't going to encourage anybody else to be fat by you existing in your body. Just exist in your body. You exist. There's nothing wrong with you. Stop dieting. Start loving. Figure out that turning point to helping you say fuck you to all of those people. Figure out how to stand up for yourself when you go to a doctor's visit and tell them, I don't want you to weigh me, or hey, you're being a douche nozzle. I need you to actually care about my health. Just kind of like don't be me, man. Yeah, don't be where I was. Don't be where I was. Learn to love yourself. Figure out how to love yourself. Escape this fucking diet mentality. Escape this body is all things mentality. And just be. You have my permission to just be. You want to wear hot pink? Wear fucking hot pink. You want to wear a crop top? Wear a crop top. You want to wear a bikini? Fucking wear a bikini. Fucking do what you want to do. Do it. Fuck everybody else. And I know you, because I was you in your place hearing me say fuck everybody else. Well, I don't fucking get it. It doesn't work that way because everybody else is blah, 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 and all the words. I promise you. It does work. You can have these things. I am not an anomaly. Just be, man.
I want to thank you for listening to this podcast. If you are interested in being on the podcast, please email cartherapypod@gmail.com. Thank you.